King and Company also as a new branch out that we're doing, showing professional baccarat. You can do this as a full-time if that's what you want to do it. You can do it as a side hustle if that's how you want to play it. We show you how to do the whole thing. We show you your bankroll needed, the bets needed, the goals of whatever your particular session is. And we also show you how to stay below the radar, how not to get caught, how not to get barred. Because even if you're making so-called small amounts of $200, $250, $300 a day, and you repeat it at the same casino every day for 3 weeks, they're going to bar you. They don't like you taking that money out there. They're going to analyze your game and know that they can't beat you. And so they are going to restrict you from playing baccarat in that casino. Baccarat is the only game that we have out here that has an A or a B, a 50-50 outcome. Surely, yes, a 1% edge to the banker, but practically 50-50. Any 50-50 game, such as baseball, such as football, such as basketball, over a series of events can be beaten by the bet amount. And we have refined the bet amount down to the point that we are unbeatable right now. Now I'm going to show you another way tonight that you're even more unbeatable, because the only way you get beat with what we're doing is if you have a high minimum bet and a low maximum bet. If you're squeezed like that, like you are sometimes at the Native American casinos, you can get in trouble. One of the other ways you can get in trouble is if you start with too big of a bet and your bankroll won't support it. You get 7, 8, 9 losses in a row, which are possible, not likely, but they are possible. And when that happens, you can dig yourself into a hole. Let me say some hellos this evening. There's Gary Sherinians out there. Chuck Ritter, thank you so much for your work. Man, that was some good stuff you gave me. JP, good evening. KC Steve, Davenport, Iowa. Give me a weather report. How you doing up there? Dagsy, how's everything going? I'm burning through this deck because I want to start for the top of the deck tonight. And I'm going to show you another way of doing things. And also I want to clarify some things about what we've been doing lately and distinguish it from the D'Alembert, as this is a style of D'Alembert, but it's such a very aggressive style that if we play this style, the 137, 11, 17, if we play this like we used to play the traditional D'Alembert, we could get in trouble. But the other thing about this is the D'Alembert's weak point is if you lose 5 or 6 in a row, you have to win 2 in a row. In this game here, you don't have to win 2 in a row because there's such a large disparity between the bets. So you sometimes can win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1, and that's the same as winning 2 in a row, which makes this stronger than the D'Alembert. And also, because we start the D'Alembert oftentimes at $50, $100, even $200, you can get in trouble really quick with D'Alembert, and I don't want you getting in trouble. I want you to play conservative, and I want you to get your money. And so I'm going to talk tonight about how we do this at a very low amount of money, because really what you want to play this, the 137, 11, 17, you want to play it at the lowest possible bet. Because when you're playing at 1 unit, 3 units, 7 units, 11 units, 17 units, 23 units, 31 units, you escalate really quickly, even if your unit bet is small. Oh, good. Well, that's very similar to here, KC Steve. Hey, Charles Mace, nice to see you, buddy. Dagsy's here, and I didn't know if I said hello to you before, my friend from Australia. I'm glad to have you. Dagsy gives me great online reports because he doesn't have a casino nearby, so he has to play online. And man, oh man, that can get risky. I don't trust it, but Dagsy is having some success, and that's all that matters. Also, one of the things that helps you with online is you can play very low bets, and I always encourage it. Particularly this particular betting sequence that we have that is really so very strong. It'll run you up pretty high with your units bet. Hey, Trish Graves, good evening. Up there in Toronto. So I'm trying to burn through this deck, and then I'm going to ask you to tolerate me for a minute. I heard some funny one-liner news reports today that I'm going to relate to you. These are not my originals, so you can't shoot the messenger. Well, you are allowed. Shooting the messenger is probably a pretty good thing sometimes. Okay, so there we are. We have arrived. There's the shuffle. So let's get this thing rolling with the news headlines of the day. If you can tolerate this stuff from me, I've got some news headlines of the day. A man was shot with a starter's pistol and beaten with a baton. Authorities say it was race related. Number 2, a child has been hospitalized after swallowing 6 plastic horses. Medical personnel say his condition is stable. Scientists have discovered a species of lizard whose sperm is invisible. Researchers report they never saw it coming. There was a first meeting of camouflage enthusiasts, and it was a total failure. It looked like no one showed up. Okay, the 5th one. Here you go. The latest Flintstone movie debuted in the United Arab Emirates. Reviews from Dubai report they did not like it, but those in Abu Dhabi do. Okay, enough cornball stuff for tonight. I've got in Las Vegas. They have some stadium baccarat. They also have some $10 tables. I like the $10 tables too, but I'm tempted to go to the stadium baccarat, particularly at the Rio. Now, this may sound to you to be a little ridiculous, Johnny Mac. Goodbye, buddy. It was nice seeing you. Thanks for stopping by. You could stay and learn something, but instead you're a little bit too crass. Um, but if you played at the Rio has stadium baccarat where they have an actual dealer with an actual shoe, and they have a $3 minimum bet. Now, it doesn't sound like much, but if you use the $3 units, the units of bets go 3, 9, 21, 33, 51, 69, 69, 93, 120. And I've got 15 levels of it. And since you're in stadium baccarat, you can kind of sit there with your screen and get the landscape that you want. Like right now, we're playing beginning after 2 of a banker or 2 of a player. You can wait till 3 because you're just sitting there, got a little beverage, got a little newspaper, maybe a book, and just keep watching, and you jump in when you feel like it. You're not sitting at a table, you're not pressed, but you could make your money, any amount of money, playing on those low levels just like that. So tonight I'm going to play for BLLC as though I'm at the Rio, and we're going to play $3 units. So I'm going to begin it with the baseball bet. Now we are at 23,500,000. I still want to make $250. So you still with me, Johnny Mac? Did you hang in there? I think Johnny Mac's down in Dallas or Texas area. I used to remember, if I remember him. Hey, Kevin Strauss, good evening. Um, so we're going to play it this way tonight for BLLC, as if we are at the Rio Stadium Baccarat, and we're going to play it off of the 2 because I don't want to have you guys waiting around for 3 and end up playing for 2 hours. But if you're out there in Vegas, you can play this $3 for like 2 hours, maybe play 2 shoes or whatever, and leave whenever you're at a certain plus level. So we're going to start with the baseball bet. I don't know if it'll let me bet $3. And maybe I have to start with a $5 bet because of this game. But I'm going to pretend that I'm at 3 anyway. I'm going to stay at the $3 units with $5 as the base. So there's the $5 bet, but it's got to be on the banker. We're going to play the baseball bet, banker starting. Repeating the bet with that. Banker reduced. Okay, so banker won the opening bet. You see they gave us the whole $5. They don't take the commission out of the small bets here. So we're up $5. So we've won the baseball bet. Now we're going to wait and we're going to play against any 2 in a row. What I'll do is I'll play the entire shoe and see where we are. So I'm going to give you a longer show tonight. We got 2 bankers there. So we got the base level bet on the player at $5. So then we have a $9 bet on the player. This is probably messed up. I probably should have played $5 units is what I should have done. But this is where we are. So we're going to bet $21. And this is the last try. Any 5 is the loser of sequence. So we're going to try to break this quad from the banker. And we did not do it. So now we have to wait for a fresh 2 in a row because we got a quint right there. That's your loser, is the quint. So we had a $21 bet. We'll come back with a $33 bet after we have 2 in a row, a fresh 2. It can chop or go back. Hey, HR Green Shark, how you doing, buddy? Good evening. Banker streaking here. $33 bet. Reminding myself what we have next. We got one player now. 2 players, so we're going to go to $33 on the banker. And with that win, we're going to come back with a $21 bet after we get a fresh pair. One player. One banker. $21 bet, saying it to remind myself. What is that? Is that 2 players? I don't know. No, 1. Okay. Hey, Ted Rogers, good evening. Showing something like we're going to play Ted and HR Green Shark. We're going to play like we're playing the $3 table stadium game at the Rio, and showing how this 13711 will elevate so quickly that the $3 unit is perfectly okay to play that way. Our next bet's going to be $21 whenever we get a pair. We have just got a single banker up there now. And we got a double banker. So I got a $21 bet here on the player. And with that win, one of the things we see, as you notice, we've been playing $3 units, but we're up $22 right now. The next bet is $9. But you could play this at $3 stadium game at the Rio. And they have the stadium game in several of the strip casinos right now. I'm not sure of the other minimums. Maybe they're $10 games. I would doubt that they're $25 games being played stadium. They could be $5 games. Let's see what we are. Single player. Bill Lotta, how you doing? Bill, we're playing the game for BLLC tonight as though we are at the Rio $3 stadium game. And so we're playing $3 units. And I've lost track again of what we got. We got 2 players. So we played the 21. So now we got a $9 bet on the banker. Oh, they reduced him down. So they got the tie on the $9 bet. There's the win at 9. I'm not going to go down to the $3 this time because I started at 5. It'll knock things out. So I'm going to play $9 as the base bet right now. We have to wait on a new pair. We have won $31 just playing for next to nothing. No risk. You got plenty of money in your bankroll, and we have the system that we need to generate the wins. So there we got 2 bankers. I'm going to bet $9 right now, pretending that's the bottom level. $9 right there on the player to chop these 2 bankers. And with that loss, we're going to go to $21. This is the same escalating in $3 units, the 1, 3, 7, 11, 17. 21 goes to 33, and this is the break part here. The banker's throwing another quad at us. Let's see if they can get a quint again. And they did. So the 21 is going to put us to a $33 bet unless I've lost track. If I've lost track, somebody tell me. We're going to get another pair, and we're going to 33 if that's the correct bet next. Banker streaking to 6, I think. One player bet. Okay, so I think that's a pair of players there. So I'm going to bet 33. I'm thinking that's what it is. $33 bet on the banker. Go to 51. Losing streak here. And that's what I'm saying. If you can imagine yourself starting at $25 or $50, you're up to a large bet right now. Here we're at 51. And we go to 69 to see, can we break this streak? If they string quints at us, we lose. That's what beats us is quints. We won the $69 bet. We're still down $50, but the next bet is 51 after another pair. We've had a rough shoe, but sometimes they happen. I think that's a pair of bankers, right? So we got a $51 bet on the player. And then a $69 bet on the player. The next bet's going to be 51. Playing like it's at the Rio Stadium game. Let's see if that's a single banker or not. I've lost track. It is. Single player. $51 banker bet to try to break this pair of players. And a $69 bet. So the next bet's $51 if we find another pair. Let's see what we got here. Got a pair of players, so I got a $51 bet on the banker. And a $69 bet. On the banker. Second try. So the next bet's going to be $51. We've got one banker win up there. And a player win. Two player wins, $51 bet, banker. And 69. Next bet will be $51. One player. Pause to look at what Dagsy says. Yep, thank you, Dagsy. That's exactly right, because you're playing low numbers. If you were playing a $50 entry, you'd be down thousands. And so you can make your money just this way. We're at a $51 bet. That's a good point. And back to that $69 bet on the banker. Now, first time we go to 93. So 93 gives us a $69 bet after the next pair. So that's two bankers, right? There it is. The next bet is 69. It's on the player. Okay, so I'm going to call your attention to something right now at the $69 win. The next bet's $51. Now, I'm not going to go reset down. Now, if we were playing at $50 and $100, I'd reset because we are up $50. Even after getting beat, and beat, we're still up $50. The next bet's $51, and we have to have that bet after we get a pair. But I just want to point the distinction here of what's going on is we're demonstrating how this aggressive way of playing at the lowest possible amount with the largest bankroll is the sure way to win. And you just sit and relax. You don't get all tense and uptight because you got $900 out there or $1,200 out there on a bet, because you're still trying to make your $150, $200, $250, $400, whatever your amount is. You're still trying to make that amount per session. We got single banker there. Single player. Going right through this shoe. I may play another shoe. You guys can stay or run if you want. But I'm going to go ahead and keep playing for a little while. I want to show a full demonstration of how you play at the Rio on a $3 stadium game. $1 base bet times 5 shoes. There you go. That's right, Daisy. Is that one banker? Two bankers. All right, so we got a $51 bet on the player. I believe that's the correct bet this time. So we go to 69. And I try to go to 93. Bill, I'll get in with you in just 1 minute. Won the $93 bet. So we're back into positive again. So the next bet is going to be $69. I'm not going to reset, but like I'm saying, if we were playing the large bets, I would reset here. Okay, Bill, thank you. Thank you for, I appreciate that you review it and give me some corrections, because sometimes I do get caught up between the numbers, and that quite possibly is right. But it doesn't deny the fact that we have the winning way of playing right now, and all it's got to do is be refined to the individual player, particularly like yourself. I want you to play in a way that wins for you. So we got one banker. We're going down in this shoe, but I'm going to play another shoe. Charlie Mace, what I'm going to tell you is that is trouble. When you have high minimum bets and low maximum bets, that's a casino that is set to beat you. And I know you want to play, but I don't want you to dig yourself into a situation. This is when the casinos are the toughest road game in the history of the world, because they change the rules to suit themselves. You've got to go to places that allow you to do it. If I were you, I would find a vacation to Las Vegas. I'd stay out there 2 weeks and play the stadium just like this at the Rio. That's what I would do. But I understand your situation, and I have great empathy for it. because these places are in the business of taking your money. If they're glad handing you and smiling and all that stuff, you can go ahead and believe it if you want. But I would suggest you not. I would suggest you not play. I'm going to go ahead and start with the baseball bet again. I'm going to start it at $51 because we're just going to play this thing out. So we're going to play banker for $51. That was our next bet. I'm going to go ahead and do it. We get a push to start with. Rebet that bet at $51. The next bet is 69. I didn't want to cut William off though because I appreciate what he does. He gives us some good reports. We're going to 93. We're going to see if it does. Is this a 10%? Because if it is, it just is. We got 93 bet on the banker. With that win, the next bet is going to be $69 after we get a pair. The baseball bet prevailed on the third bet. One player. One banker. One player, I believe. I don't think we have two. Chop City, Chop City. I think we got a pair of bankers there. Nope, one. Ties and ties. Nothing but chopping. We need a pair. I think we got a pair of players, but I'm going to verify. Yep. The bet's $69. It's on the banker. That's what I'm going to point out again. We've been at about a 35% win rate, and we are $57 up playing from a $3 unit. And so that's why I'm saying you could play this right along. I'm going to go ahead to the $51 bet next. I'm playing BLLC for $3 bets. That's what we're playing tonight. We're going to try to chop this one, and the bet is $51 on the player. And the next bet is $69 on the player. Now we're up $75. The next bet's $51 as soon as we get a pair. But we're up $75 right now. Is that a single banker? Yep. Two bankers gives us a $51 bet on the player. And 69. Second level bet of this sequence. $69 win puts us up $93. We got a $51 bet coming up after the next pair. This is playing stadium like they have in the Rio for $3. We got a $51 bet on the banker coming up. We're just staying true to the sequence. And a $69 bet. We're paying the commission every time on this. Even with the commission, we're up $108 right now. $3 bet, and we're up $108. One player, I believe. One bank. Two banks. $51 bet. And $69 bet. Trying to get a little streak going and not being successful. Now we go to 93. If I got a quad here, I do. It's a $93 bet. That's what we have. That win puts us at $81. The next bet is $69. And we have two players. We have a $69 bet on the banker to chop that pair. Banker bet, 69. Banker bet, 93. We're up an even $100. The next bet is 69. Checking again. Pair of bankers. $69 bet on the player. Finally, the first interlevel bet, you can see we're up $169 right now. And the next bet is $51 after a pair. The player win. Back-to-back player wins. So the $51 bet is on the bank. We just won at 69. Now we got a $69 bet here on the second level sequence. And we're trying to stop the quint right here. It's a $93 bet. If I'm correct. 4. The quad. We got to beat that quint bet right now if we can. Got it done. So the next bet is $69 after the next pair. We got a single banker up there and a push. And another push. And we got two bankers up there after a couple of pushes. So we got a $69 bet on the player. And a $93 bet on the player. Now we're going to wait, and we got a $69 bet coming back. Single banker. Two bankers, $69 bet on the player. Trying to chop that pair of bankers. Okay, folks, we are at $230 now of profit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset down to the bottom to the $9 bet, since we can't start at 3. I'm going to bet $9 on the next one and see can we get to the $250 profit for BLLC playing a $3, $9 game. We got a single banker there. Got a double banker. I got a $9 bet. All the way back down to the bottom. The highest bet we had was $93. $21 bet. And a $33 bet. Could not get it done. I'm going to have to find another pair. I'm going to start at 51. Is the banker streaking now? Indeed he is. So we're going to have to find another pair. You can get it a couple of different ways. Banker long streak. Doesn't matter, we're not playing. Single player there. Single banker. Two bankers, $51 bet on the player. I believe that's the right bet. So now we're back at 218. The next bet's $33 after the next pair. And that should be a single banker. Got a $33 bet coming up. Is that just one player? Yep. One banker. You're playing stadium, so you can just sit there. Two bankers. We got a $33 bet on the player. $251 BLLC, playing a $3 game. I hope you guys have seen the demonstration, and I particularly hope William has seen it. We played a very conservative way. The largest bet we had was $93. We still made $251 today. And you're playing stadium right there in the Rio for $3. Now, I will tell you when you go, because the way the game is played here on the simulation, the minimum bet's $5. But at the stadium game, you can play the $3 entry, and you'll play it 3, 9, 21, 33, 51, 69, 93, the same way, 1, 3, 7, 11, 17, 23. And you can modify it later on. I went out to 15 bets on this because the bankroll provides for it, and you're playing little smaller bets. I'm going to do this again because I want to demonstrate to you that even though these are small bets, because of the escalation, the aggressiveness of this bet, that does yield the profit if you make 30%. And tonight we only had about a 36% win rate. We lost 64% of the hands and we won $251. That's what I'm trying to prove here is you will win the money with a low percentage because you are playing such aggressive way in a 50-50 game. Now, if you look at this right here, anything that shows a chop before the fifth and after the second is a win. If it gets to the quint, that's 3 losses. But if you have a quint followed by a single win, you've recovered because of the way it goes 1, 3, 7. Then the 11 washes everything and brings you back to a tie. So that's a win right there. These chops don't matter. That's a win. That's a loss and a win. Actually, a loss and a win is more money because you lose at the 1 unit level of $3, and then you win at the 3 unit level of $9. And so it's a $6 win playing 1-3. The same way there, the same way there. These are actually better than that. You do want to win the very first bet, but that's the entry level. This is more. The next one is even more, like that. This is a 1 unit win. That's a 2 unit win, a 2 unit win, a 2 unit win. This is a 3 unit win. That's a 2 unit win. That's a 1 unit win. That's a 3 unit win. 2-unit win, 1-unit win. That is a 137 loss, 11 units right there. But that gets it all back because that is 137, and that's the 11-unit win right there. So when you're doing your autopsies, all these are wins. That's a win. That's a win. Any of these are losses. So if you look and you see win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, loss 11, 12. Now this loss is three different sequences, and so it does bear you down. But since it goes 1, 3, 7, and that's an 11 win, this erases those losses. I want to make sure that you guys can look at this just as quickly as I do and see it. It's a grind. That's right. And you know why? That's what I'm writing the story of. I got this ideas from a feel for the wheel. Looking at roulette is where I came up with this way of playing baccarat. And then I discovered you got to have a mind for the grind. And what I mean by that, mind for the grind, it's nice rhyming, but what that means is you have the discipline and the patience to stay at it. You can stay at it. You get the mind for the grind. We had a feel for the wheel. It gave us this game. We got a mind for the grind. It's going to give us the wins. You can play this 13711 is much better than starting with $25. Now, if you've got 10,000 or like BLLC has 20 grand, you can go ahead and start at $25 and you don't worry. You're going to make your money. Matter of fact, you'll make it a lot faster. But if you're a low roller, you got $1,000. You go to the Rio. You play the $3 stadium game. And you just relax until you get your money. The largest bet we had all night was $93, and that's even with barely winning over 30%. So I'm going to show it again. I like it when we don't win as so easily because it shows more of the game. But also when you're playing this low level, you're going to be in the game longer, and so you stand a chance to have more losses because you're going to be in the game longer. Casey Steve will be in Biloxi 6th through the 10th. Looking forward to another great week. As I've had, I do too, Steve. I just say, you're playing the $25 game. Adele and Bear is a good way to play, but you do have to have back-to-back wins, and it's sometimes hard to get those. The 1, 3, 7, 11, 17, 23 gives you opportunities to win when you go in the ping pong, like I say. If you lose 1 unit, you lose 3 units, you lose 7 units, you lose 11 units, you lose 17 units, then you win 23. Lose 17, win 23, lose 17, win 23. That is 18 units you won over the course of those 3 ping pongs. The difference is between 23 and 17 times 3 times through it. And so you gain 18 units with the ping pong way. And so that's how you end up with 30% wins, but a profit. Internals that I have of how I came up with this betting strategy and how I do the selection. The selection is least importance. You can also play it like beginning with the triples. If you begin with the triples, you had no bet here, no bets here, no bets here, and you won on your very first bet here. You won on your very first bet here. You won on your very first bet here. You won the second bet here. First bet, no bet. Second bet, first bet. Lost 3, no bet, no bet. So sooner you'd had a triple up here somewhere, and you'd have won. So the triple gives you less bets, but still gives you the money. And so at the stadium course, at the stadium games, you might even sit there and wait it out for triples because you're not doing anything else. Have a drink, read your book, look up every now and then. When you see a triple, make a bet. I want to show you guys the ways that you win being cautious at the same times, because anybody who plays this game at the $25 level knows when you get to the 475 level bet, and you get even higher. You go higher than that to the $40 bets, to the 40 unit bets, to the 50 unit bets. You got a lot of money out there, and so it's better to play it with stress free and still make you $250 like we did tonight. Yeah, sure, BLLC, you only got an extra $1 tonight, so no pizza on the way home. But you do have $250 you add to your balance, and so now you're over $23,000, $23,250, I believe. But if I'm mistaken, Wild Bill will correct me on that. It's always good to have somebody out there who's rechecking things and means well about reporting it to us. So to all of you tonight, I hope you enjoyed having a longer session. I'm proving that you actually can play this all night long. If you had, geez, man, if you had $100,000 bankroll where you could just go in there and play the $25 and not even worry when you get up to 1,000 or 1,250, because when it ping pongs up there, you're going to get the 250 right away. You could have lost 10, 11 hands in a row and then won three out of the next five and you got your money. It's that simple. And so I'm looking to show that we have put actuarial math to work for us to where we're going to make the money even at a low percentage win. And that's how you determine things. When I see people playing blackjack, I know they're not going to win because of how they're betting. Because of blackjack, you often can lose 7 straight hands and some doubles in the middle of there, and all of your bankroll is gone. I call blackjack the biggest sucker game ever. I mean, I was a card counter and I still found it to be a difficult game to win unless you play no splits, no doubles, and you play the game straight up as single hands with the 1, 3, 7, 11, 17. But the game is still so bad. It's so heavily favored toward the house. No game is advertised more poorly than blackjack as far as the player goes because they advertise it like it's a dead even game, like it's no big deal. And if it was that even, you wouldn't see everybody losing every time. And most even really good players win 1 out of 3 trips to the casino when they're playing blackjack. It's just a difficult game to win. The same thing with craps. I mean, I would definitely, if I was going to play craps, I would simply Fibonacci um, buying the 4 and the 10. And I just Fibonacci the 4 and the 10 all night long until I finally won my money, because it's going to pay 2 to 1 when it hits, and 2 to 1 is enough in your Fibonacci. But I wouldn't want to play that game. There is no game I would play in the casino except baccarat. And I know, like Kelly KB, he loves to play the games. He loves roulette, and he's told me he's not going to play roulette anymore. He's told me he's going to play baccarat only. But it's very tempting because you do want to have some fun. It's not just for girls. Girls want to have fun, that's for sure, but the guys want to have fun too. And so I know the temptation, but I would tell everybody, let's make our money just like that. Mr. Bottom Feeder said $250 a day is certainly better than working 8 to 5. And you can make $250 a day. I guarantee you, I could take you to that stadium game in Rio right now if you had even a $5,000 bankroll. And you can make $250 a day, 7 days a week, because you can just do it right there playing the 3, 9, 21, 33, 51, 69, 93, 120. You actually have to lose 8 straight hands to be at the $120 level. When I discovered this, I said, I think the Venetian and the Wynn, maybe they're 5, they could be a $10 minimum on their stadium games. I don't know, but I was interested in the Rio because they offered at $3. Now I don't know what the maximum bet is. If the maximum bet's $100, it's going to be a problem. But I don't think they're going to go $3 minimum, 100 maximum. They probably have 1,000. They might even go 5,000. Vegas is more generous with maximum bets. But I hope I've covered enough ground tonight. I hope I didn't turn too many people off, except maybe Johnny Mac with the cornball beginnings. But just know I get a kick out of dumbass jokes every now and then. So to all of you, thank you very much for joining tonight. If you saw some mistakes, let me know. I don't think there were too many tonight, but I wanted to show you how you can make your money playing low-level bets. I'll be back with you in 2 nights. God bless you all. Thank you.